I guess it's no confusion. I'm Sarah, and this is Bill. And we're really excited to kick you all off because I do think at this moment of financial services and fintech, we banter around words like unprecedented, never before seen, new era of digital investing. And I can't think of a better person for me to talk to about that than Bill Capuzzi.
Yeah.
Bill, welcome to the stage.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Thank you to the Benzinga folks. This amazing, we were talking about how many people registered for the 650. And I think about the first year they did this and where it was then versus where it is now. It's pretty amazing. So congrats to the Benzinga crew.
Yeah, we think Bitcoin was trading about 75 cents, but we're going to see how that goes. But Bill, just kind of quickly, you're the CEO of Apex, which we're going to dive into and your thoughts there. But you're also many other things. You're an industry veteran. You're an investor in fintech yourself. You're really putting your money where your thoughts are, I think, on a daily basis. You're a father of 4. I was really surprised to figure out where you had time to do that. But I want to really, if we may, just dive in a little bit to the Apex story. There's no question that part of the rise of fintech is because of infrastructure and the ability to actually create frictionless and seamless investing kind of from the back to the middle to the front office.
Yep.
You've been an industry leader there. Do you want to kind of talk us through some of the milestones that you've seen in the company?
Yeah, sure. I mean, first of all, show of hands, how many people actually know Apex? All right, most hands went up. We started the company now 12 years ago, and I think the cool part for me is sitting here. We have these town halls every month, and I ask somebody from the 900 people that work at Apex now, what's the purpose of the company? And it hasn't changed in now 12 years, which is how do we help every person on the planet invest? The second thing I talk to, especially the client-facing side for Apex, is always got to work on solving a hard problem. Right? And those are the kind of 2 ethos for Apex when we started the company 12 years ago is, right, mantra around, okay, we're going to help people that haven't had a chance to invest, right? There's ages old, there's decades old kind of precedent around helping people that have a lot of money. What about the people that don't have a lot of money, right? The mass affluent and down. And that's how we started the company back when, 12 years ago. I think along the way, the second part is solve hard problems, right? So, the advent of robo started with Apex, right? And now it's kind of, it's commonplace, but back 12 years ago, Wealthfront Betterment, they needed a partner that was going to lean into how this robo thing was going to happen. Zero commission with our friends at Robinhood started with Apex. Fractional share trading, now fractional fixed income trading. Things like 24/7 access to the US markets. And so along the way, I want to say we're really clairvoyant and really strategic and we can see the future, but the reality is you got to solve clients' hard problems. We're infrastructure, think of us as a platform, right? Amazon of sorts for investing. And the focus for us is really around listening to our clients and responding to what their needs are.
Yeah, Bill, I'd say you've done that in spades. For those who don't know Apex by the numbers, 19 million and growing accounts on the platform, 170 plus companies. What really can you attribute to that incredible growth? I mean, to get to that level in just over a decade is astounding.
Yeah, look, I think it goes to what I said in the beginning, which is partnering with a bunch of partners in the room. Dan, it's partnering with folks that have mutual interests, which is, all right, how are we going to help every person on the planet invest? Right, we do our part, which is all the guts, the plumbing behind the scenes, right, from account opening through settling trades and confirms and statements and cost basis, tax reporting, and our client's job is to engage that end customer, right? And when you think about how hard it is to do what we do, you kind of connect those dots, and it's sort of this perfect marriage. Just in terms of their focus, right? In terms of take Tradier. Tradier's focus on providing a great end client service, and for Apex to do all those things behind the scenes.
Yeah, Bill, thank you for that. You talk about doing the right thing for the customer, the contemplation of how to bring more individuals into contemporary capital markets. But you mentioned a lot of firms that you've supported that arguably are disruptors.
Yeah.
Robinhood as one example. And, I think there's a lot of argument in this room that we as innovators are in this period of disrupting the traditional way that wealth creation happens, that investment happens. I take a different stance. I'm also an academic. I teach at Brandeis, and I teach in my class that we're really 3,000 years into this evolution of the industry adopting the latest technology. Of course, that belies the fact that more and more data is available to us every day. How do you see things?
Yeah, look, I think you think about the folks that are in the room and the things you're building, the things you're offering out to the fintech community. The acceleration over the course of the last 10 years has been remarkable, right? Now we have AI coming in. The acceleration for the next 10 years is going to be even more remarkable. But you think about, this. Let's just take the last 5 years, right? The pandemic and what it did for this room, right? It's pretty amazing, right? Everyone was at home, right? Couldn't go to work. There was no sports to watch or bet on, and there was government stimulus. And then at the same time, we were offering the ability, this room was offering the ability to access, whether it's payments, whether it's investing, banking. Amazing, the explosion of opportunity for us. Let's go back to our purpose, which is help every person on the planet invest. We were opening 1 million accounts in a weekend.
Crazy.
During 2021. And that's amazing, right? Now we have work to do. There's a lot more to do. But it's pretty amazing, the acceleration, a lot of it driven by the technology, innovation, and disruption in the room over the course of the last 5 years. And it's amazing, show of hands, how many people are working with AI? I presume everyone's hands go up. The opportunity for us to leverage the large language models to continue sort of this kind of upswing in terms of opportunity is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Bill, I hear that, and I just every day thinking about those individuals that you're empowering, those million people who came online during a period of COVID. It was a huge, obviously an accelerant. The ability, I'm sitting here with my phone today. I can do more trading on my phone today at a cheaper cost than I could when I was sitting in a large institutional asset manager on the desk. Do you view this sort of shift towards the application of AI and other emerging technologies as a positive, a negative, or both? And if I could double click for a minute, the reason I ask that is because we will create ostensibly a period for some time of digital divide. Individuals who understand how to get onto your system, how to participate in the capital markets, the implications, good and bad, of AI in decisioning. What's your view on the whole sort of period of adoption, rapid adoption of technology?
Yeah, look, overall it's amazing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's start with the sort of not so great. So we're in the world of investing, retail investing, right? You have things like meme stocks, right? And there was a run this year on meme stocks, right? And it's bad information that's being pushed out, through channels. I don't want to make a bad word for Reddit, but there's channels out there that are pushing information to retail investors and then driving behavior that's not necessarily in the best interest, I think, of a long-term investment strategy. So part of this is around education. We as an industry have to do and continue to lean into being better around educating people on how to properly invest. So that's a place where I think we have plenty of opportunity to run. On the other side, the positive side is amazing, right? It's amazing. We lower the barriers. Think about this room and all the things that you've done, to allow people with $100 to invest. Open an account, you said, on your phone, be able to put $100 in and start investing, right? That was impossible to do. I'm looking at rough ages in the room here. It was impossible to do when I was a 22-year-old kid. Impossible. There was no chance. There was no such thing as fractional shares. There was no online anything. It was a rigged system for people that had a lot of money. And so you fast forward to today, I think we've done a great job as an industry lowering that barrier to entry. I do think there's a lot of work to do to sort of advance in terms of the investment thesis. around helping people, retail investors, make proper decisions around investing now.
Yeah, Bill, I love that because it speaks to a future that's brighter, that's better, that actually is good for business because you're expanding the opportunity for new customers to come on. Let's really contemplate the future. It's hard to believe that we only had a few minutes to dive into your wealth of thinking.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave here inspired, and I think everyone else will, about what is possible. But let's just really think about the future of wealth creation through your lens, through the lens of innovators and industry professionals. How frictionless can we make investing?
Yeah.
It's already pretty frictionless.
Yeah, so I sit on the board of DTCC. Let's just start there, right? Best market in the world, and the best we can do, which, by the way, is amazing. We're now T+1, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, amazing. But we still, for retail investors, we're settling trades 24 hours later, right? So just think about that. It's like, okay, a retail client has money in their account. It's sitting there. The cash is sitting there. They buy a stock, and we go 24 hours to settle that trade, right? Contrast that to if any of you guys are in crypto, right? It's a very different experience on the crypto side. So there's a place where there's plenty of opportunity for us to continue down this path of creating frictionless access. Things like alts, right? That's it's all I hear about is access to alts. But think about it's for an accredited investor. Okay, an accredited investor today is, my words, is effectively somebody who has a lot of money. Right? This notion that just because you have a lot of money means that you're a sophisticated investor is kind of ridiculous to me. And so the hurdles for people to access private investments for mass affluent and under is almost impossible today. And it's a gigantic market, and it provides really interesting opportunities. There's a bunch of work we need to do as an industry to kind of lean into sort of that private market that today, again, is all for the rich. And then the last part, I would say, the 401k, the employer space. There's a bunch of folks, I don't know if Aaron's here, but Vestwell's doing some really good things around disrupting the 401k space. There's a lot of work to do to help all of these employers around, let's just stay in the United States and think globally. There's a lot of work to do for us to get to a better place in terms of taking what we did for the non-401k space and applying it to 401k space, which is a place that Apex is kind of leaning in.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. I want to also point out, you brushed over it, but the astounding work you're doing in fractional trading. Again, another sort of pathway for the everyday investor to come into this marketplace. It's really tremendous, the product innovation you just talked about. I'd love to know what you're excited about for the future. I just think this is a group that will grasp it, will run with it. What excites you?
Yeah, so you mentioned fractionals. So we obviously did equities years and years ago. We launched fractional fixed income last year, and the expectation 25 will launch fractional options, which is, if anybody's an options trader here or knows options, is hard to do, really hard to do. We're down the path on fractionalizing an option, which, again, think about an option, right? It's 100 shares. Lots of people can't afford that. And so providing the ability to do fractional shares is just something obvious that Apex should do. I think the other two parts, I would say, one is this notion of stock as a reward. All right, so you think about, you go on Amazon, a package shows up at my house every day. What if you go on Amazon and your reward, instead of it being some points or something like an airline, you got stock as a reward. That we have some patents at Apex. Why can't we do that? Let's just say we partnered with Amazon, not to start rumors, but what if instead of some point system you could get stock and turn a consumer into a shareholder? And you think about the marketing side for a public company turning a consumer like Amazon or somebody that walks into Lululemon into a shareholder, right? The loyalty, right? Home Depot, right? Versus going to Lowe's. Right, there's path in terms of using stock as a reward, as a hook, is now something we can do. And then the last part is just globalization. Later this week, we'll announce publicly that we're launching a 24/7 When it started as 24 by 5 ATS, soon to follow 24 by 7. And the premise there is, why do retail investors have to stop having access to to the markets, U.S. markets, between 9:30 and 4, right after at 8 o'clock at night? Why can't you buy Tesla? There are some places to go today, but I think the market needs better, different options that are out there today.
Bill, thank you. I think what I just heard is the opportunity, the landscape is vast, and we can't say enough thanks to you and the Apex team for your vision and then operationalizing it for that future you just described. Please join me in thanking Bill for this morning.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.